it's another side that like wants to take more, wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome to One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I am your host, Ryan, and with me today, of course, is the lovely Kyle and the handsome Katie. How are you guys? How are you guys doing today? But before we get going, people are seeing this, if they're watching this on our YouTube. Kyle, do you want to introduce who people get to see what you look like? What's
I'm confirming that my location is here on Earth. It is the same room here, but for those who are just listening, the red tinge that normally accompanied my camera is gone because I got a new
to you.
Yeah, it's like 2022, so it's not super old.
That's good.
But for whatever reason, they changed the type of laptops we were using, so we sold 45 laptops to staff. They were selling them for $50 each.
Oh, nice.
That's 50 Canadian, so that's around $38.
Holy, yeah, that's a pretty sweet deal for a computer.
So they sold out pretty fast, and I was able to get me one. So yeah, I look more what we'll say normal.
Sure.
In this one here.
Sure. For those who don't watch this on YouTube, so on our StreamYard, you can put little sayings under your name. I'm just not clever enough, Katie and Kyle, but Kyle today has do. Yeah. And Katie has get out in one piece.
We're going to come upon that scene in this episode. Let's go out in style. You don't want to go out in style. You want to go out in one piece.
Okay. All right. This is exciting one, which welcome anyone that's joined us live in the chat. I think we've got a few people there. So Louise is there. Yo. Okay. So we've got big emails to go through. Let's go through the Screen Nerd podcast dudes first.
Okay. This is regarding episode 4 from Screen Nerds. Hey, y'all. Enjoying listening to episode 4 of Rocky 3. I wanted to comment on sports in Philadelphia. Granted that Philly has had some down years for a time, but if you're looking at what was going on just in the years prior to the release of Rocky 3, the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series in 1980. The 76ers got to the NBA Finals in 77 and 80. The Eagles got to the Super Bowl in 80, and the Flyers went to the Stanley Cup Finals in 80 after a decade of going to multiple Stanley Cup Finals and winning 2 cups in the 70s. But I think all those teams from Philly had in common was that hard-nosed, blue-collar fighting spirit, which is symbolized so well in Rocky, which is easier to make an individual into a statue. Great work on the podcast. Keep it up, Michael, from the Screen Nerds podcast.
Thanks, Michael. And I'm going to make a real effort to listen to your show before the next recording. I am so sorry. It's what do you call apropos, or it's only fair that you listen to our show and I'm going to listen to yours. If you do a review on Rambo and it's bad enough, then me and Dom are going to review it. No, I'm just joking, Michael. But no, if you want us to, we can. But no, I'm looking forward to listening to your coverage of some of the movies that I enjoy.
I'm not too familiar with the football and the baseball of that era. But I will say for hockey, for the Philadelphia Flyers, you couldn't be more right there with the hard-nosed blue-collar team, even though most of them were Canadian. But still, they were known as the Broad Street Bullies, and they were no one liked to play in Philadelphia because not only would Philly probably beat you in terms of scoring more goals, but you would get beat up there pretty bad.
Yeah. Interesting. Like mean fans?
No, as a player.
Oh, as a player.
If you're a visiting team coming to Philly in the 70s and 80s, you as a player, it was going to be a painful night for you in more ways than one. And even the Soviet teams would come over to North America and play exhibition games against the best NHL teams. And you can watch this on YouTube. There's a game where the Flyers played the Soviet team, and they roughed them up so bad the Soviets refused to come out for the third period.
This is supposed to be an exhibition match.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
right. Exactly.
So, yeah, you're definitely right on that. Philly sports it's pretty rare. There's a definite culture there. So I made that clip about mostly being Canadians there, but I think when guys come onto a team, they absorb that culture.
Mm-hmm. Good points. And I didn't know all of that sports history. So Philadelphia was really good, apparently, during that time. Cool.
Yeah.
So his comments for episode 5. Hey, all, great discussion on the scene with Mickey and Rocky. You posed the question of if Mickey hadn't had the medical emergency. Remember, Rocky doesn't know Mickey died until after the fight and was there in Rocky's corner and had the proper training. Could Rocky have won the first fight against Clubber Lang? I always contend that Rocky worrying about Mickey was a major contributor to Rocky losing the first fight. Any fighter would have been all out of sorts if their trainer and manager wasn't in their corner. But for Rocky, even more. That was a major factor in Rocky getting knocked out like he did. Now, would he have beaten Clubber Lang in the first fight if Mickey was in his corner? I don't necessarily think so. Clubber Lang was a totally different fighter than Rocky had ever fought against. It would have taken a new approach and training like what Apollo put him through before the second fight. So while I think it would have been a better first fight for Rocky, I still think Clubber would have beat him. Just the fight would have gone a few more rounds. Great question. Keep up the great work, Michael, from the Screen Nerds podcast. So I do have comments, but I think the next email is going to address.
Yeah, let's say this. So, Michael, we'll respond to that kind of in a roundabout way. We're going to respond to your email because we've got a very special email has just come into our show. It's coming to our show from a very special person, and we're going to comment on that email. Bear with us, folks. And yeah, so our comments regarding this email will tag along with what you said, Michael. So you're not forgotten. But okay, so who's this special email from?
One Mr. Kyle Peterson?
Wow.
What? It's every ounce of self-control not to end it with, you guys are fake, the podcast is fake, go kill yourselves.
Why didn't you?
You should have. You should have.
So I think you're wrong, though, because I've actually emailed the show. You say, Dear Ryan and Katie, in a first for the podcast, both this one and Going the Distance, a co-host is emailing into the show. I've actually emailed into the show before.
As a co-host?
Yeah,
prior to
with a voice memo. But
true.
I think it's when I'm not here.
Yeah, that's true. So it was. Have you ever typed an email to the show that's been
true.
read?
That's true.
Okay, there you go. So Kyle's the first
now.
Okay.
That's my only comment. I'm gonna actually mute my mic.
Okay. So why would I do this if I'm attending the recording? Because I'm dumb and shy. This email is regarding the hypothetical situation of Rocky fighting Clubber for the first time if Mickey stayed healthy and Rocky was motivated to train hard. Would Rocky have prevailed against Clubber? As regular listeners would know, I am of the minority opinion that Rocky's loss was inevitable. Although I feel that both you and Katie brought up some valid points that support the idea of Rocky winning the fight, I would like to lay out my case for why I think it's very unlikely.
Okay, stop. Now, I don't know if you're in the minority, Kyle. We got some comments on our YouTube channel. We also got the email from Michael, and we're getting some comments here from Dan in our chat that people are saying that Rocky would have lost. So I don't know if you're quite, maybe a lot of the response has been in your corner.
Yeah, agreed.
So you're not as alone or as a minority as you think. It might even be half and half.
I was just going to venture to guess 50-50 probably.
But your voice is not an echo chamber. So just to not make you feel better, but just so you know, you're not alone. Everyone is, a lot of the comments I've been reading have decided that Rocky would have lost the first fight, which I still disagree with, but we'll go on with that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so please continue. Yeah.
So he's laying it out. Yeah. Rocky has 3 main strengths as a fighter: his punching power, ability to take punishment, and his endurance to consistently last the full 15 rounds. Yeah. We see from Apollo fights, as well as his later fight with Drago, he can wear down his opponent over the course of 15 rounds and then land the knockout punch at the last second. Tony was right to say he was dangerous. Clubber's strengths is mainly his punching power as well as his ability to take punishment, as seen from both fights where Rocky unloads on him, and he seems to be unaffected. His weakness is that he has never gone 15 rounds before and gets tired. He is very much patterned after George Foreman, although Foreman has successfully gone the distance before. Like Foreman, Clubber is so devastating that no one can stand toe-to-toe with him. No one out there is stronger, at least until Drago comes along. Although Rocky can take punishment, I think even he has limits. We see in the first fight that Rocky is easily overwhelmed by Clubber, getting knocked out in the second round. It is a fair point to say that Rocky's head wasn't in it and that it really wasn't his night. In the second fight, Rocky uses his hybrid approach where he gets an edge on Clubber in the first round and his newly found speed and agility, and then using the time-honored method of letting his opponent punch himself out before he then moves in for the knockout. I think that fight was a very good representation of Rocky and Apollo working together to beat Clubber, as opposed to Rocky just becoming a clone of Apollo. In actuality, Rocky outsmarted Clubber, just as Muhammad Ali did in the famous Rumble in the Jungle fight in 1974. I recommend you all watch that fight. It is amazing. I don't believe Mickey could have given Rocky the same edge as Apollo did. I believe Rocky needed to develop quickness and agility, especially in the third round of the second fight, where Clubber has him in the corner, and Rocky suddenly switches from being the punching bag to dodging all of Clubber's blows and fighting back while still being in the corner. Although Mickey knew that Rocky could not trade punches with Clubber, I don't think there's any good evidence that leads the audience to believe that Mickey and Rocky could have come up with a plan for Rocky to change his style. That said, I think Ryan has a very good point that the Rocky we see in Rocky IV fights an even stronger opponent and doesn't use any of the strategies that helped him defeat Clubber.
Right.
If I'm being honest, this almost persuaded me to change my view. I think Drago was a much better fighter than Clubber and probably had more punching power. Not probably, he had 2,200.
Okay, so pause it for a second there. So pause. So we told Kyle he's not allowed to talk during the letter reading, that Kate and I are the only ones that get to talk, and he can share his feelings after. But all very well said. I feel this is weird because I feel like everything Kyle's saying is not, it's factually in the universe of the movies, of course. It's factually correct. Everything is correct. This is what happened. This is what we saw. This is what Paul comes in, teaches Rocky to dance, to swim, to move, to dodge, all the
Run
things.
on the beach.
Yeah, he had speed, and you're right. He's ducking those punches. We never seen Rocky avoid punches until this. I guess I don't know how, for me, you can convince me that a stronger animal did not knock out Rocky. He fought someone later in his life who is younger and stronger than even Clubber is in this film, who's twice the size, twice the punching power, and Rocky wasn't knocked out by him, and he's older, and he doesn't have Apollo, and he has Apollo's death on his mind and guilt of that as well, and his head wasn't even quite at the game there. I don't know.
You don't have the genetics.
Yeah, so...
well, Kyle gets to that. Okay.
That's just what I'm feeling right now. Continue, Kyle. In the voice of Katie.
Yeah.
Kyle.
This is what I will concede. The Rocky from Rocky IV would have been able to beat Clubber at his own game. That Rocky was a beast. He was heavier, stronger, and could take anything that Clubber would dish out. I would say this is peak Rocky. Even I sincerely believe that Rocky of Rocky III could not have become the Rocky we see in Rocky IV. The Rocky of Rocky IV had a dead man on his conscience. He didn't throw in the towel. He said Drago kill Apollo, whom he became very close to. That Rocky was on a mission to make things right, as much as he could at least. That Rocky went to Siberia and trained like a madman and put himself through a hell that he never experienced before. Unlike the other films, even Adrian's disapproval did not faze him. At the end of the day, the events around Rocky III could not have lit a fire under Rocky's ass like this. The Rocky of Rocky IV was created under very special circumstances and would be unrecognizable to Mickey had he been alive to see it. So there are my thoughts. I'm looking forward to discussing further with you on the podcast. I also look forward to hearing Katie read my email, as she is good at book learning and can also read good spelled G-U-T. Take care, Kyle. That did make me chuckle, but I do have thoughts. But Ryan, go ahead.
Very well thought out.
Very well thought out.
Very well thought out. And sometimes when you do a written out form like this, you can get your thoughts out in a sequential, proper manner. That's why a lot of people even script their own podcasts, because they're able just to hit up the points. So we do not script anything, which I guess shows in our podcast. But yeah, very great email, says Luis. Phenomenal. He says, I guess good comments here regarding Kyle. A lot of support for Kyle. And I would say the one thing that I will concede, and this is where I'm not convinced that Rocky would have lost had he had Mickey. I'm just not convinced. I think it would have been a balls all fight. It would have gone far. Rocky can take punishment, but I like the idea that the Rocky of Rocky 4, he is just a different beast. That Rocky would beat Rocky of Rocky 3. So if you want to have, does the Rocky 3 Rocky beat Rocky 4 Rocky? No. So Kyle brought up a good, how did Rocky 4 Rocky become Rocky? Very interesting. I like it. So basically his argument is, you can't use the Drago fight for the Rocky 3 events because the Rocky 4 Rocky, though older, is just more of an animal and the beast than even Mickey. I like that. Wouldn't recognize the Rocky. A
special set of circumstances. So I'll hear that argument.
So I hear you. I just don't think, and then I'll end because this is my final piece. I still don't think Rocky would have lost to Clubber if Mickey was in the corner and all things being equal. If Mickey had attacked the fight for real, okay, yes, these other 10 were handpicked. We've got a lot of work to do. Let's get your head back in the game like we did with Apollo. I think he would have won because I think Apollo is a better fighter than Clubber. And because Rocky beat Apollo, that's how I look at it. So you want to retroactively look, fine, we won't talk about Drago. We'll look back at Rocky beat Apollo. Yes, quote unquote, it wasn't in his prime anymore. Time defeated Apollo. We get that. But Apollo was no slouch even back in 79. I will concede that I've changed my mind about using the Drago as an argument. Kyle, job well done on that. I'll just retroactively use Apollo as the argument that he beat Apollo. And he's a better fighter now than he was when he fought Apollo. He's got to be a more refined fighter since those days, those barroom days. That's the final thing I have on that, Katie.
I concur with Ryan. And my thoughts are slightly different. I concur with you. My reasoning is a little different. And my thoughts are a little scattered. Let's see. The point about Mickey and how they would attack this fight, that he needed Apollos to teach him how to be quick and whatnot. I don't think that Mickey has anything to do with preparing him for the fight other than your typical conditioning and just getting in shape and getting your mind right and that kind of stuff. He's more
roll over him, Rocky.
He's almost like a good luck charmer. He needs Mickey there because it's Mickey, not because of the education Mickey's giving him. And so for that reason, I think that it's the lack of Mickey. It wasn't about Mickey schooling him how to beat Clubber. It's just Mickey's not there. Mm-hmm. And that really effed with his brain by not having Mickey there. And then my second point is about he needed the additional training, changing up his style from Apollo. While I hear that argument, I will continue to go back to Rocky doesn't listen. And maybe I'll go back on what I'm saying now when we watch the second fight, but he doesn't. Rocky fights as Rocky fights. He doesn't listen to what he's been told. He has his own little strategy in the ring with a fighter, regardless of who it is. He just gets beat on, and that's and then he pisses the guy off and blah, blah, blah. So Rocky doesn't listen to his trainers. And Mickey doesn't even really play a trainer role. He's more of a father figure, his like spiritual guide, blah, blah, blah.
Awesome.
That's why I think. Also, I did like the comment I wanted to point out. I think it was Dan said, I thought this was interesting. Drago hadn't even had one professional fight. Clubber would have beat him. Whoa. I don't know. I don't think so. I full disagree just because Drago was such a huge machine. That 2,200 pounds per square inch.
Whatever he hits,
he destroys.
I love it. I know it's probably one of the best scenes in all the Rocky franchise. I love that. And then his corded arms as he's punching that machine. Okay, we'll get to Rocky 4. We get to Rocky 4. Okay, so Kyle, there you've heard our counter to your counter. Your closing thoughts, and we'll move on to trivia.
Oh, okay. That was hard. The mic muted there. I thank you for reading it, and I do appreciate your thoughts on it. Yeah, for me, the thing with Mickey is that he knew he had the right idea for beating Clubber. You got to take this guy 15 rounds. Do not trade with him. Mickey knew And I just feel, for example, Mickey knew what to do with Apollo in the second fight too. You need to be quicker, like chasing the chicken. You need to be able to dodge punches. You need to be able to slip the jab, like actually fight him. And of course, none of that ever happens. Mickey doesn't seem to be that effective, like Katie was saying. I think to myself, the Rocky of Rocky 2 was held up by Mickey as supernatural. And is a thought experiment, would that Rocky, if you switched out Apollo for Clubber, would have won that fight? I don't know. I don't think so. But it's hard to say. It's with these hypotheticals, you could go around in circles for a long time.
Yeah. It's
right?
Overall, it's how you feel. There's no way to prove.
Yeah, I agree. So I thought it was a good discussion. I don't have too much of a counter.
It's one of the bigger ones. It is actually one of the bigger ones. The ranking of the boxes. There's you go online and certain entertainment sites have done the ranking of the boxers and they're within the universe who's the best in their prime, and it's a great discussion. And just like anything in sports, there's just a lot of factors. I think it's what we're dealing with here. There's so many different factors where a certain team can be the underdog, so to speak. Why do they beat the defending champions in the first round? Just head game stuff, heart and soul, all that stuff. I think with Rocky, I think what we do with him is we give him a lot of heart and soul credit, and I think that's what carries him as a fighter. So when you take away his biggest tool, which is his heart and soul, i.e. the first fight against Clubber, he is just kind of a bum, a fighter. He's okay. He can take a lot of pain, but with that heart and soul combo, that's his superpower. And you take away his superpower. And that's what Adrian says in part 5. When Rocky trained Tommy, he trained him to be a good fighter, absolutely. But Adrian says to him, you gave him everything but your heart. You can't give him your heart. That's your secret power that you have, that you can't train somebody to have your heart.
Very well said, Ryan.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. And next, you got to leave on a high note, right? Okay. All right, so let's move on to trivia.
Okay.
You guys ready? Pen and paper is ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then for my editing purposes, because I got this new software tool, I'm going to be a little bit quicker with not too long of pauses. Be ready to write down your answers so I can move on to the next question, if that makes sense. Because if I have like long gaps, I can explain my editing software to you later, what I got. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right. This is question 11 of Rocky 3. The question is, who says, quote, is he always this cheerful? Is he always this cheerful? This one actually took me a second.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I'm just getting dumb in my old age.
Okay.
All right. The next question. What colors are Rocky's robe for the first fight? So I guess maybe there's more than one color. It doesn't say if it has to be whatever the prominent one is or versus the other. Okay. Question 13. What does Thunderlips call Rocky? I guess the derogatory comment. Question 14. Who won the match against Thunderlips? Love it. Oof, I need a freebie. 15. When Thunderlips enters the ring, who says he's walking?
I actually feel good about these today.
I don't know what I'm worried about that one because I know who's all talking. They all have a speaking part, and that person gives a punchline at the end there. Who gives that punchline?
Just for clarification, who the fifth one is the person who says he's walking.
Yeah. So right? Who says, quote, he's walking?
Okay, got it.
The only one I'm not sure about is the colors one.
Whoa.
Okay. I think I have
Katie's
it right,
big on clothes, right? So.
I am, yeah.
All right, 16. True or false?
Oh, we're doing 10. Oh,
yeah, we have to do 10
sorry.
Yeah, we got to catch up. Okay, true. The European champion that Rocky beat was from France.
True or false?
Oh,
true or false? Okay.
For bonus point, name the country, baby.
Oh, okay. I can do it.
Oh, Katie, settle down. This is for me. We got to catch up.
I'm feeling on today. Okay.
True or false? Mickey has a hearing aid. And again, for bonus points, why does he wear it?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I think we all got it. Okay. 18. Does Paulie dress up as Santa at the start of the movie? True or false?
Ooh, I haven't heard that's kind of tricky one.
Questions in the trivia.
This is the third true or false in a row. This one, yeah. So that's true or false. Does Paulie dress up as Santa at the start of the movie?
Okay.
19. What does Rocky plan to do after retiring?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And the last question, what is Clubber Lang ranked? Okay. Save that for the end.
Okay.
I think I have them all. I think
I
I'm going to get them all
I
right.
think
I think so. I might have missed one.
I think I
but-
might have missed up to 2. I'm not going to lie to
Yeah.
you. There's one I'm not too sure about. The color one I'm definitely not sure about.
God,
I'm
you
just-
guys. Okay.
My wife will dye her hair and I won't notice necessarily. I just lose track of colors. I don't track colors. So.
Yeah, but there's a reason why I feel very certain about it.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Interesting.
we'll go on.
Oops, let me just change this here. Where's the one? Here's the one. Okay. All right. So where we left off, of course, we're now going to the House of Ill Repute. I believe this is what this was. We got the sign up here where it says heavyweight champ trains here daily. So are we led to believe this is the first day of training, second day? Because it seems like a big grand event, but we have somebody singing. We got people
That's probably the first day, I would say.
I would say so too. Now the hotel they're staying at is a real hotel. It's a real historic landmark. It's called the Bellevue Stratford Hotel. It's an official historic landmark in Philadelphia. The hotel portion of this building is now a Hyatt, and it's about $600 to $700 a night is your standard stay there.
Okay.
So Katie can afford it, but
No, that's what I would guess by looking at the
No, I don't-
that's just in a downtown city.
I know.
Yeah, it's not $150 Super 8.
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, when I stayed in New Mexico, my work trip, I was staying at the Days Inn. Oof.
Oh, you were.
I was scared. I was scared for my life.
No,
Okay.
I'm just surprised that your work.
They do have a budget. You can, it was a short notice trip. I think
Got
I
it.
had more time. Okay. So I'm going to mute it just a little bit here and there because the copyright music is the big hit. It's funny. All of our Rocky stuff, for the majority of them, they make it to YouTube, which is crazy. I showed the whole scene and everything, but the music seems to get the biggest kind of like flags. But we'll play a little bit of Frank, just a tad, just to get a sense of Frank here.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to deprive Frank of the royalties.
Yeah, we got to give Frank his royalties.
Yeah.
So the whole so there's a lot to talk about here. So we have this lobby is this full. It's like Disneyland. Now I know the heavyweight champ of the world, especially back in the 80s, was a big deal, right? And Kyle can attest to that. The heavyweight boxing champ of the world was a real celebrity. I get that. And so we've got this. It's Rocky training around his merch. That's essentially what this is. It's come by the Rocky merch while he trains for his final fight. Because this is, for all intents and purposes, this is his retirement fight. By all means, comment on what you see here.
It's absurd. Ryan, you are right that the heavyweight champion was a much bigger deal, but I'm not aware of any example of anything like this happening where his actual training regimen is surrounded by this or someone having that much merch.
Again, this is also brought to us by Nike.
Oh,
It's
God,
very
yes.
on display.
Yeah, Nike definitely. If Nike didn't pay to have this on there, they're idiots.
It is a spectacle. And are you guys getting a better feel for what the freaking colors are?
Well, I did say gold and black.
Okay.
Yeah, or yellow and black or gold, but the bumblebee colors. Yeah.
The reason that I was because that's the Rocky colors. Yeah.
I was just
thought it was a
nervous.
trick question or something. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh, got it. Okay.
I'm terrible at tests. This is how I am for tests. I overthink it. Just whatever the answer is, that's the answer. Okay, so you got a ring in the middle of this foyer at the hotel. We got punching bags, balloons, just crowds of people. You got Paulie hawking robes, hot off the truck. He says, "Rocky robes, get your Rocky robes here, hot off the truck." So people can buy Rocky robes. And
I would buy one. I want that shirt. I want that robe right now. I would wear that.
I was just about to say, who would buy a robe like that?
I would. I would. I love
okay,
it.
now, would you buy it just to have, or would you buy it to actually wear it around the house?
Both. I would wear it.
I would never wear a robe. I'm not a robe guy.
Oh, really?
I've never worn a robe to wear. I put on a
Yeah,
robe
same,
because
actually.
I've never worn. I don't get what a robe to me is just a towel shaped like a suit.
Yeah, I guess it is more. It makes more sense for women. I can see that.
Why?
Because I'll wear a robe if I'm getting ready to go out and I
Right.
haven't put my outfit on yet, but I'm doing stuff, getting ready. I'll have a robe
I guess,
on.
yeah. You're covering your nakedness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure your
basically.
neighbors are real pissed about that.
For me, I just put on my underwear and shirt and I go about my day. I don't want to wear a towel.
Ryan, we're wearing the uniform of the podcast, the black.
I know the black shirt. I know.
It really is a transition from the shower to whatever your outfit is going to be, really.
Yeah, because that's the difference, I think, because I'm guessing Ryan's the same, but once I shower and dry off, I immediately get into the clothes I'll be wearing for the rest of the day, which admittedly is like t-shirt and jeans or something, unless
Yeah.
I'm going to work, but...
Louis says he wears the robe to get his lady in the mood for whoopee. Well, there you go. That's fair.
Well, I do that. A robe is really good if you want to flash someone.
That's what Louis does to his wife, I think.
Yeah.
I think he reminds his wife, look what I've got here. All right.
Yes.
So we've got Paulie wearing, of course, he's wearing the merch. He's wearing Rocky, the Italian Stallion shirt. He's got pins on his shirt that you can buy. Back in the 80s, man, pins were a big deal.
Pins were on
Yeah,
your
I
jean
wonder if-
jacket.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he feels emasculated or something.
Oh, he loves it. He loves doing this stuff. I think
I guess if he's getting a cut from this merch too, because I can see, I was thinking this is a major production. Like you'd have to have a full-time legitimate staff to arrange all of this, to book the space, to get all the equipment, to get all the merch, to have people to sell it, to do all the accounting for it. It is a huge operation.
yeah,
You
I'm
should
sure
never
Paulie's-
see any of that.
He's
But-
got people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does. You don't see
Mhm.
those people, but
Mhm.
they must exist.
Hmm.
And why would they show them in the film? But I have a feeling Paulie probably pushed to have some more of this merch. I could see Paulie being whatever in his ear, saying, "Hey, we can make a lot of money getting merch." And I could see Paulie getting, instead of just $5 an hour for working there, something getting a cut of the merch profits.
Oh, 100%. He knows about these things,
He
but
does
this
know about
is
these things.
he is actually good at.
He's in
this
his
kind of
element
stuff.
right now.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're led to believe. Paulie's in his element.
Mhm.
I think he's the head merch guy. He's in charge of it because he says the stuff just came off the truck. So he was in charge of the truck offloading. And there's this woman here wearing a Rocky hat. Look at that Rocky hat.
I would also wear that hat. I would buy that
Okay.
and wear it.
I have a real Rocky merch story actually from
Please.
Philadelphia.
I think you told us
So-
one. I think you told, maybe not. You told us one
Okay.
about the shirt.
So
that
I
you
wore a Win Rocky Win shirt
Right.
that I bought in Philly, but then I kept wearing that shirt, and then I was going to the Ben Franklin Institute downtown, which is right by the city hall, and there was people selling Rocky merch on the road.
Right.
And this is 2007, 30 years since the first film came out, and I guess maybe a year after Rocky Balboa came out,
Yeah.
but still, they were actively selling on a Tuesday or whatever Rocky merch. And I was like, I already have Rocky merch. He's like, you don't have the hat yet. You don't have this yet.
Oh, yeah. It's like when you go to Costco and the people the people that are hawking something else, like spas or grills or whatever.
yeah.
And I'm usually, I don't know. I always feel bad if I just ignore them. So they're like, oh, and I'm like, I don't eat meat. And they're like, well, you can grill. I'm like, I'm not going to spend $5,000 on a grill.
I don't know if the law is different here, but they don't talk at Costco here. They just sit
Oh.
there and you have to approach them. It's nice.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about staff. So that's what I thought. The girl or that young lady there wearing the Rocky hat, she's actually one of the staff. She's Paulie's staff. So Paulie had a casting couch situation.
He certainly
he did
did.
have a casting couch.
Because look, that woman there, she's
Mhm.
working behind the counter. So she's wearing lovely young lady. She's got the Rocky poster or something there, and she's putting the hat on an older gentleman, saying, "Hey, look, this hat kind of fits you. That's what it is. See?"
Mhm.
So look, that looks great on you because you can see where's the table right there. You can see another lady wearing a Rocky hat there at the table here, selling the gloves next to the Rocky cutout. Paulie hired all these women to help him sell the merch at the tables.
The shot you have it. Yes, he did. But I'm a little bit obsessed with early 80s. Look at the people in the background. The guy in the center of the screen is
yeah.
with the leather
He's
jacket.
probably. I think that guy's a killer.
Yes, he does look like a serial killer.
he
He
does.
looks like my weird uncle. Every family is dad uncle. My uncle looked like that at this time, like in the 80s.
And then on the right-hand side, you have the, what do you call it? The version, the yuppie version. We could,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know. The guy there getting punched by his wife or girlfriend with the gloves.
Yeah, these outfits, though, I'm loving it so much. I love A Sign of the Times.
I agree with the outfits. Yeah, that's awesome. But that guy's a killer. I'm not even joking. I think he's at the very least he's sexually assaulted somebody.
That guy sells merch out of a van. And probably there's other stuff in that van too.
Like the serial killer glasses. I think they all have the same.
I think starter kit.
I can't tell if they're tinted, but I'm sure they are. Because it seems like everyone in the late 70s, early 80s wore tinted glasses.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thing.
And big.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. My dad still wears the glasses with the bar on top.
Oh, yeah.
So what I love about this whole Disneyland-esque fairground type display of Rocky training is it's a combination of not just merch, but it's also a combination of be Rocky for a day. That's what it is. So because later we'll see some weights and stuff. Do you want to know what it's like to be Rocky for a day? So you get to try on boxing gloves and punch your partner, and you have the toy store. Remember the toy company? You can kick him, you can beat him.
Smart Deal Toy.
That's right, Smart Deal Toy. They're right there.
They are.
That's those things. That's what they were talking about. You can punch it, you can beat it. It keeps coming back. You can punch it, you can beat it. Those are those air for our listeners. Those air things with the weighted bottoms. When you punch it, it comes back. It never goes down. So people are walking out with those. They come in red and then yellow backdrops with the classic Rocky pose there from the first film. But yeah, you try on gloves, punch your partner with the gloves. Look at this lady here. I think she's stealing this one. I think she looks like she got away with it.
She's going to bed with that one. Look at her.
Oh, yeah. She's using that for visual stimulation for sure.
Okay.
Wow.
And then we got the only scene of Mr. So I love how, in my mind's eye, this is not just Frank Stallone, but this is also the same character from the dive in Philly, from the burning
Trash
garbage
can.
barrels. This is him. He's so just like how Rocky's moved out of the neighborhood, he's given this guy a bit of a bump. No longer is he singing in front of garbage cans that have fire. He's now singing at the hotel House of Ill Repute.
I never thought of that ever. That would be the same guy.
Oh,
but
that's
now
totally
that you say that, I don't think I could make an argument against that.
He brought him up. He brought him up.
They're literally the same person. They look identical. Rocky knows who he is. It's more likely than not that would be him. It'd be very difficult to argue against that.
I agree, and that's how I like to think of it. But to be perfectly honest, Sylvester Stallone at this time, I don't think he thought of that. He was just like, "Yeah, my brother Frank sings," and
for sure.
Yeah, the continuity in the Rocky films might not be the best. So
this is what I wonder too. Actually, now that you brought that up, is did Rocky really turn his back on the neighborhood? Because he moves out of the neighborhood immediately, from what we could tell, right? And he moves into the mansion. Does he ever go back to the neighborhood? Does he ever do charity events there? Does he still have contact with people?
Well, he did the youth charity for the youth fund. Which probably I think it was all Philly based. It was all Philly based.
I wonder if people in the neighborhood got that feeling that Rocky turned their back on them, or
maybe,
or did he give people in the neighborhood jobs and opportunities? And what Louise said, that his title reign lifted all ships.
Yeah. So here's a little bit of Frank, the corner guy, singing. I love how he has his gold dancers, girls wearing their Rocky merch, singing next to him or with him, dancing with him. They're not really singing. And that lady, though, right on his immediate left, that's her name is Patty Negree, and I interviewed her. That's her. And she's the one that's a psychic medium now who talks to the other side. And fascinating interview. Go check out the PATI space NEGRI. Just Google that. It's either on YouTube and or it's on my feed deep in the. But she was a fun interview. Lovely lady. She's a fun. But if you want to hear some ghost stories, that's where she comes in.
Ryan, if you want to interview Burgess Meredith, you may have to talk to her.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
You should fucking do that, man. You should just to be funny, be like, hey, could we maybe? I'll help pay for this. To do like a thing where she does like a read.
That's terrible. I don't think she would. She would. Take a listen to the interview. You tell me if she would. But she could also try reaching out to Frank's career.
Ooh.
Okay, let's hear some of this Frank singing here. There you go. There we go. So there's Frank singing, and the mention of "Survive" was in that song as well.
Mhm.
So now Adrian, of course, is walking around, and as per normal, she's not crazy about this either. My gosh, Adrian, we love you, but can you just accept something that your husband does? It's
No, some people are funner than others, right?
Yeah.
Adrian's not a lot of fun. Not a ton.
No, we've not.
She's not
Of course,
no
yeah.
fun. She
Right,
has some
right,
fun.
right.
She has some fun. Like they can
Mhm.
ride on the motorcycle and roll
Mhm.
around in the grass and shit.
yeah, she
but
did that.
She is right to be concerned, though. She's like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be drinking."
If I were her, honestly, if I didn't know, again, I feel like they don't talk. How does she not know that this is going to, she shows up and is overwhelmed, taking it all in. What the hell is going on here? But again, she didn't know that this was going to be the deal.
I also find this kind of narcissistic. I know that you have to promote yourself, but I can never imagine just being in a room where it's just like Kyle everywhere. It's all about me, and this is pictures of me, and this is that. And it goes against what Rocky was. He was never really like that. And I guess the championship can get to your head to some degree, but I think that probably bothers Adrian as well. Is this really your values, Rocky, doing this? Is this who we are?
Agreed.
Yes. I don't know why I always got a kick out of this old man wearing this tough wear headgear for sparring. I don't know. It looks like he has no teeth. I don't know what it is about him putting this thing on. And he dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God, I don't know what song that is, but there's this song, it's not that old, where the guy says in the song, like, watching movies from the 50s, what he notices is everyone's dead now.
Oh, yeah, that's where we're at now. So here's Paulie, and again, selling the merch. He's got the pins on a wall, the punch him, you can beat him toys, or the people are just so thrilled to have these things. It's funny how it's all kind of very low key, though. This is a pretty sad merch display in many ways. I know this is very fast for the visuals of the film, but when you pause it to actually look at the setup and display, it's a pretty sad state of really what they're offering. You get to put on a glove, put on some headgear, try out some of the Rocky weights, and then the merch, as far as I can tell, is a robe, hat, pins. And I don't know if they're selling the shirts. The merch people are wearing the shirts, and the punch them and you can beat them toys.
I think I've said this before, but I would love to do this shit as a job. Set up sets like this to make them as real as possible, because I would love creating Rocky merch just for this movie. There's probably budget constraints, or the people are like, are we really going to spend $200,000 sourcing or creating Rocky merch? Like, just do a couple balloons and a few pins and a punching doll, and let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I think I got a film flub, guys. Can
Linda in the back. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to do a quick Google search here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but that Linda chair, that is, I don't know. That's reserved for people who are working behind the scenes, a producer, or script, somebody, or that's Linda, and the person sitting there who might be Linda in the seat. That's film stuff. That's got nothing to do with the event.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what you were talking about at first, but yeah, I think you're right. Why would there be someone with the chair that says Linda at that Rocky event?
So I'm at the IMDb old cast and crew. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to do quick Control F and see if.
Man, I've never noticed that.
I haven't either.
There you go, Linda Horner. She's the executive producer.
There you go.
I love that.
Wow, look at that! Probably the first podcast or anyone to cut. I bet take that, Kunda. I wonder if he ever caught that.
They don't want to talk about film flubs because that's a negative thing.
It's the sly propaganda machine.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a brief story. So Carl Weathers was just in Edmonton yesterday.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't go to that. I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But my sister was there with my nephew, because there was a bunch of comic book people there, or Gus Fring from Breaking Bad was there too.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
There was a ton of people there. And my nephew, he's 17, but he has autism. He doesn't talk much. He's not a Rocky fan at all. But Carl Weathers was walking by, and my nephew shouts at the top of his lungs, hey, look, it's Carl Weathers. And I guess he chuckled and waved and was really cool about it. So
That's funny.
So here's Linda's illustrious career. Linda, she was the assistant to Mr. Stallone in Rocky 2. She was a production executive in Rocky 3. She was an associate producer for Staying Alive. She was associate producer for Rhinestone.
Oh, she
And
likes the slice stuff.
She likes the slice stuff, but her last official, and then she was an associate producer for Beverly Hills Cop. So this is a pretty good run, and then it just ended.
I hope she gets credits in the movie for being background character, and I'm sure she'll get producer credits, but she should also be put on the credits for being in the film. Yeah, that's an awesome catch. That is, I'm really glad you pointed that out. So I don't think I ever would have noticed that.
No.
Even though it's glaringly obvious, I guess because you paused it.
Only when it's paused, yeah.
Yeah, I guess it goes by so fast, but it's not like you just see the L from the chair or something. You can see this person's whole body, and she's clearly working.
That's Linda right there.
It says Linda. Every letter is clearly legible.
Now I want to talk to Linda because she did all these Stallone stuff, but then it's weird how it just ends.
She retired, maybe. I don't know.
After Beverly Hills Cop, that's an odd.
Go out on top.
Yeah, that's a pretty big film, and you're like, okay, I'm done. All right. You can see Linda moving in the background, working and stuff. It's funny. All right. And now here we go. We're going to get some dialogue here of Mickey throughout this chaos. Yeah, thanks, Donald. Wow, this is the value of the show. Yeah, this is why people listen to our show. All right, so you got Mickey.
To my sultry voice, too.
Yeah, and Kyle's sultry voice.
Especially when I talk like this.
Yeah, the Mickey now trying his best to train Rocky. Oh, yeah, he can't stand toe to toe with this guy. So that's what Kyle's saying. This is the kind of training that Rocky's receiving. Let's listen to a little bit of here and we'll talk about it.
Stand toe to toe with this guy. He'll deposit you up there on Mars. He's too tough. He's too strong. And listen, how the hell can we train in this creep joint here?
Okay, so he says you. What did he say? But deposit. He'll deposit him on Mars, or he'll deposit Clubber on Mars.
No, Clubber will deposit him on Mars if he stands toe to toe with Clubber.
I never caught that before. The Mars thing.
I love the way Mickey uses hyperbole like that.
Yeah.
But he's right. I'd be super pissed if I'm Mickey. You promised me that we would live in the gym. This is not what I had in mind.
I find it weird that he's even here.
He agreed to it. That he agreed to it even?
Sorry, what's that?
Did he even agree to it?
This is the thing, though. If I'm Mickey, if it's me in Mickey's position, I'd be like, you know what? This isn't a training ground. We don't train here. I'm going to be at the actual gym. If you show up to train, I'll train you. Otherwise, you're on your own. But I think Mickey can't do that. I think Mickey has more of a sense of loyalty to Rocky. But I'm still surprised he doesn't tell him to F off and just leave. I feel
in
like
real life, I think
trainers would do, yeah.
In real life, but that doesn't work for the movie.
No, of course. So he goes, how the hell can we train this creep joint here? And Rocky's punching the bag, very lethargic, very roly-poly, the punching bag, and the cut man is holding the bag.
This is a house of ill repute or something, is it?
A house of ill repute. Is that just a bit? I always think it's like a whorehouse type level.
It was pluralized. Is that right? The captain said
Mickey.
repute.
That's Mickey with his. That's the way he talks. Is it grammatically correct? No, hey, motivation.
I think I mentioned this before, but I thought he said repute because I didn't know what repute was. That was when I first saw this as a kid. So in my mind, that's how I learned repute is a word, and I've probably used that up until much later on.
Oh, I was right. All right. So I just guessed that's what he was referring to. This expression is a euphemism for a brothel.
Duh.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm just like, did you have to look that up? Did you?
Why? I didn't have to look it up. I did look it up.
That was a very Canadian sorry. It had the good O in it.
Thank you.
It was a good. I like it.
I guess if you just look at the words of repute and ill, I wasn't just thinking strictly brothel. My mind was just all types of activity would happen.
It could be an opium den.
That's what I mean. Like,
or something like. I think now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think houses of ill repute back in like the day or the Old West probably had multiple types of activities.
Sure.
Probably brothels were also places you did drugs or places
They
where
go
you did
hand in
other
hand.
illegal
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But
not
it
like
says here
was
it's
segmented.
legit a house of prostitution, whorehouse
Yeah.
brothel.
And he
Okay.
calls it a creep joint before. It is weird. It's like a Mickeyism because just because it's a hotel, it's weird. But
Yeah, it's a nice hotel. So this is not really the
It's
kind
not
of hotel.
Motel 6.
Yeah, this is not the Days Inn where I was at.
the roadside, you see those, they're not even hotels anymore.
Oh,
They're
I
people
know.
live in
Yeah.
roadside motels. Yeah.
We saw those when we traveled across Canada. We saw a lot of those abandoned type. Oof. Yeah.
Why did you rent this joint?
Oh, come on, Mickey. Let's go out in style, okay?
Why not in stock, all in one piece?
There you go. There's Katie's under her name today. Go on one piece. But that's a great comeback. Let's go on one piece. Fair.
True. Yeah.
Come on, let's
Oakland.
Even as a kid, this pissed me off. Rocky, what are you doing? Because pretty soon we're going to be intercut with Clubber training hard.
Yes. And Mickey's yelling, now, come on, let's get out of here.
get out of here. Let's go back to the old gym, will you? Let's get some blood and sweat and tears around here. Can we do that?
So here's Mickey actually saying what we thought he needed to do. This was part of that scenario that I was saying, that had Mickey somehow convinced Rocky and Rocky bought into this, the let's get the blood and sweat and tears out of you, and Mickey hadn't died. I think that's the whole point. What kind of fight would that have been? That's the whole discussion. But that's what Mickey is. He's actually saying what is true, that we need to get blood and sweat and tears out of you. We're fighting a guy that's going to land you on Mars, and this is not the training. And Rocky's overselling himself. He's unclear about his inability to fight Clubber.
And he broke his promise. Mickey agreed to train him. And one of the conditions Rocky said was, I'll live in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be technical and be like, well, he is in a gym.
He is living there. He rented this hotel, so he's staying up in one of these rooms. I bet. He's probably staying in the room.
Yeah, I'm sure. And you're not living in the gym. You're not living to what that really means.
No, not at all.
I'd be furious if I was Mickey. I think Mickey even is being pretty chill about this. He's giving Rocky a hard time, but man, if I was Mickey, I'd be so upset right now.
He is yelling pretty good, and then Rocky's like, "Just relax, okay, enjoy it, enjoy it. Okay, this is fun."
And then he has the little cufflink on too in his cross.
Yeah, he's wearing his cufflink. See, that's of all the things, they can't get the kids' ages right or anything, but they somehow worked in the Rocky lore of the necklace into the fifth film, and they filmed it well before the fifth film. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know how they got that working, but
Just relax and enjoy it all, okay?
He does look really good. Yeah.
yeah, he poses for the cameras. He's loving it. He's enjoying it. He's basking in his own celebrity.
They love it, Mick.
They love it, Mick.
They do, but
Think about it. You got the public up close and personal. It'd be like you hanging out with Tyson in his heyday, but if Tyson was personable and kind. So he's in his prime, and he's looking good, and he's flexing, and people just get to hang out with Rocky. It's a big moment for these Philly people.
Speaking of Tyson had this moment in 1990 where he didn't take training. His manager died. Customato was dead, and he didn't train hard at all for the fight. And no one thought this Buster Douglas nobody would beat him. Clubber's no Buster Douglas nobody, but he got his ass knocked out.
So that was life imitating Rocky 3 for once.
It was.
For once, real life imitated the films.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Now, to Rocky's credit, Rocky isn't snorting coke and banging Japanese hotel maids either. But
well, Rocky isn't, but yeah.
Sly never did cocaine. Come on. I'm sure every celebrity in the 80s did. You had to.
I'd do cocaine if I was a celebrity.
Sure. What else are you going to do?
What else are you going to do?
So now we're intercutting with Clubber doing his workout. He's all business. This is the blood and sweat that Mickey was talking about. Clubber's doing it. He's taking it seriously. He's doing his push-ups, doing his grunt.
He has 4 words in the whole movie, but the rest of his dialogue is grunting.
Yeah.
I'm sure he sounds exactly the same having sex as he does training.
Oh, ew.
Yeah. And probably that fast, too.
Yeah. He's never gone the distance before. He just hits it and quits it.
It quits it.
What's your hey Clever? What's your prediction of our tonight's lovemaking? Pain.
Gee, thanks.
Oh man. Okay, so now this is so 80s. You got Paulie walking around counting the money. Looks like he sold one of the pins on his shirt. He's got 2 instead of 3 now. And he's wearing 7 hats. So why is he wearing 7 or 8 hats on top of his head? Like
I
carrying
think
the merch?
this is standard street salesmen.
Yes,
Like
what I mean.
that's what they do. They wear. I feel
born
like
to
that's,
sell.
Yeah,
This guy is born to sell shit. I also want to mention that if you look at the image on that pin, it appears to be a still from Rocky 2.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So we're led to believe somebody took that photo of
Yes.
Rocky and they have that photo which they could replicate because they don't have the film of Rocky 2
Yes.
in this. Speaking of which, just bear with me here, folks. Say something. Talk about something. Why-
say something.
I mean, what
Okay,
I mean is like-
I'll also mention
Yes,
here
please.
that the displays of nationalism.
Oh my God.
You have the big American flag, and you have these things, Katie. I don't know what they're called. It's these half circles. They're everywhere.
Like banquet table things. That is hilarious, Cal, because I was literally going to comment on the same thing. I noticed it earlier, but I was like, I'm not going to mention it. But yeah.
There's also an Italian flag there too, off to the side. That early on,
Oh, okay. Mhm.
I guess the Italian stallion, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's a smaller, more muted flag off to the corner.
Okay. We don't usually read the YouTube comments because there's actually sometimes more than enough to read, or else our podcast would just never. It would always be either read comments or emails. But Jerry, he's a longtime listener of my show. He used to listen to my show, the Going the Distance podcast. So he's listened to my show for quite some time, but I guess he's binging our episodes again. But I don't know if he hate listens to us. I think he's like the new Greg the First. Was it Greg the First? He might be.
Okay.
I say this
Pointing out our
podcast.
inconsistencies.
Well, a little bit, and I don't know the tone that he's writing stuff in, so it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? Because the tone is important. That's the problem with text, right? You don't get. That's why they made what do you call it, emoticons or whatever? Emojis. They
Remember
made
they
those
used to be called emoticons.
That's
back
what I
in the
thought.
day?
See, that's how old I am. Emoticon. So emojis. So, anyways, he said here regarding because we're talking about how the picture there, that is a picture from the Rocky 2 film, but Paulie's wearing it in the Rocky 3 film, which would indicate that they have a copy of the Rocky 2 film in Rocky 3, but they don't because that's ridiculous. Even we have to say that they can have a film of their own franchise in the film. So somebody took that photo of Rocky during his training, right? And then that's how they got it. Maybe Adrian visited the gym. Okay, so I say that because it reminds me that Jerry commented on our videos regarding the music within the film. Now, this is how he asked the question. I don't know what Tony wrote it in, but he goes, why are you also critical on the music that the band plays? He says it's an original composition by the band. You want to talk about fourth wall? In the Rocky universe, who else has heard this so-called Rocky theme? Nobody. It's never been played in the Rocky world. We, the audience, only hear it when Rocky trains. Rocky doesn't hear it. Nobody hears it. Only us, the audience. This is the first time that the Rocky and Mickey have heard this song. Okay, so he's saying, I know what he's saying, but that's no offense. So this is my counter. Did you catch what he said? So he's saying,
this guy's argument sucks.
Hey, don't be nice to Jerry. He's a longtime fan of the show. But I agree. I hear what he's saying. If you just want to pretend the band is playing this cool, but then that means in Rocky 5, when Rocky lands from Russia, it's played again. The band plays the Rocky theme again. So you could argue that band that welcomes Rocky from Russia for his press conference for that film, they're also playing that original composition.
Yeah, they ripped off the high school band that was playing at the thing. Come on.
He was just offering that because at the time we were talking about that being weird and what our different ideas about how to explain it. And he was just offering his explanation.
I know he's right within the universe that the band is playing a song that we, the audience, knows, but the people in the film don't. But then I'm going to say, then I go with, okay, so now the adult, there's an adult band, not a high school band, an adult band welcoming Rocky home in Rocky 5, playing it again. So there's some sort of composition out there that they've assigned to the Rocky character.
Yeah. Okay. Like if you you could argue that.
So which in a sense is a Rocky theme.
Yeah.
Again, I'm right. They're doing it for the audience's benefit.
Of course. Of
On
course
purpose.
they are.
On purpose.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's a bit of a tangent. Okay,
Yeah.
so Paulie's wearing 7 hats. He's a walking.
I'm sorry for being mean, whatever your name is.
No, we're not being mean.
I
Hey,
love you
he's-
guys' stories.
He's a big boy. He's a big man. He's got big shoulders. He can take it. Hey, look, people want to
Like a
call us
tear
out.
going down his eyes.
Yeah, he's like, all right, we love you, Jerry. Thank you for all your long time
Sorry,
support. of the show.
Jerry. I appreciate
No.
your comment. I shouldn't have said it like that.
He's been listening to us forever. He must know our personalities by now.
Mhm.
So I think we're fine.
Fight now, go ahead. Fight and fight and get rough. Get tough. Get
Oh, he changed his outfit, you guys. He changed his outfit.
Who did?
Rocky.
Sure, he's sweating. He's working.
No,
so
he literally had the opposite. He had the yellow tank top on just a second ago, and now he has a black one on.
Oh, time has passed. I think this is I call this the failed training montage. This is the failed.
This. I guess I missed.
This is not
because
real
we've been-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be a good training montage.
Okay.
It's the
could be a
failed one. I call it the failed montage. Meaning it's still a training montage,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's the failed montage. So the rule of thumb is don't ever do a montage with Frank as the singer. You will lose the fight. That is essentially what happens
Mhm.
here.
Yes.
And here we have Mrs. Stallone.
That's right. So this is Sasha Zorak or Zorak. I forget.
Zach.
Zach. That's right. So lovely woman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Sage
My
looks
God,
just
does
like
she
her.
look like she's out of the 70s? Holy shit.
look at that beautiful hair and
Yeah,
So-
it's just that look, that 70s look, right? You
Right.
never see someone look like that today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could see someone who looks like Sly today. Like, that's not like too. Like,
I
isn't
get
it
you.
too-
I get where you're. Sure.
Yeah.
No.
But she really looks like she's from that era.
So, Katie, how envious are you that Sasha got to bed this man right here? This physique, this sly.
Oh my God. It's peak. When people ask me my ultimate man, I'm like circa mid 80s Sylvester Stallone is great. I love
So
it.
say what you
I'm very
want about
jealous. Yeah.
Jennifer, or
Yeah.
or
She got
she got
Brigitte
Rocky
got
III.
a good version too.
Brigitte got Rocky
yeah.
4. Yeah,
Mhm,
Rocky 4
mhm.
body's not bad. All right. Yeah, we've got the Sly here on this exercise machine of some sort. He's a bicycle push-up type machine. We've got the motor in the background there. He is sweating. He's working hard. He's actually sweating. He's working out. He's
Yeah.
causing sweat, but there's no blood. There's sweat, but there's no blood. So this lady comes and says, "Can I get a kiss?" So here's the meta again. Here we have Sly's at the time real wife kissing him, and of course then his screen wife getting jealous by the real wife. It's kind of meta.
I love it.
Excuse me, can I get a kiss?
Yes. Get out of here with you. I'm fighting in a zoo. This is a zoo, you know.
Move your chicken ass.
Move your chicken.
Uh,
Yeah, this is a zoo. So we're talking about the zoo. The
Hey,
zoo's brought up
but
again.
don't you guys think seeing a good look at Sasha there, don't you think Sage is a spitting image of her?
Yeah, no,
Don't
you're
you
right.
think?
Yeah, I agree.
Just with dark hair.
And I just want to say this is the third film in a row in the Rocky franchise where zoo is mentioned, by the way.
You
Mm.
know what's weird too about Rocky training is that in boxing, conditioning is important in working the punching bag and stuff like that. But one thing the Rocky movies consistently fail to emphasize is sparring. Sparring is super, super important for training in boxing because you're basically practicing fighting, right? You're practicing your moves. And you think if you want to have a new approach with fighting someone, that you would be like, if Rocky has to learn to dodge punches and not trade with someone and not go toe to toe, he should be sparring almost all the time. Because
Good
that
point.
sparring conditions you to a degree because you're fighting. Like, especially if you spar one fresh opponent after the other, that really tests your endurance.
Good point.
And it's, you see him spar at the end, but it's just basically a guy standing there getting hit. It's not
He-
actual sparring where the person's fighting back.
He spars the most probably in Rocky 2.
Yeah, he does a bit of sparring
Yeah.
too. He fights Roberto Duran and
Mhm.
some of the other guys. I don't think there's any sparring than one.
Definitely not in 4. Don't eat him.
You don't see him successfully sparring too, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but do you see him when he's in his
Slump.
his slump? Yes, that he's unsuccessfully sparring against Roberto Duran. But that is something that kind of bugs me, is that he should be sparring more. I think one of the main things about fighting in this environment, other than it's hard to actually work that hard, is that they're not strategizing at all. Mickey does say you can't go toe-to-toe with them, so they're doing a little bit of strategy, but there's nothing in terms of actually working to come up with a real plan and practicing that plan, and it's just ridiculous. To me, it goes to my theory of Mickey's not really the guy you want to actually train you to do anything.
He's not. He doesn't. I don't think he really takes that role beyond Rocky 2. Maybe he's not there to train really at this point. But anyway. But yeah, Donald asked if I was Adrian, if I would be upset by letting the fangirls kiss my man. My reaction would be the same as Adrian's, just roll my eyes. I wouldn't be jealous. I would not be jealous, but it would be eye rolling.
Sure, that's fair. All right.
Ryan, what would Becky think if you let a woman kiss you in the...
She'd be livid. She would.
She would?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a peck on like an innocent, like
my
it doesn't
wife,
mean
bless
anything.
her heart, bless my wife's heart. She's very jealous. Yes.
Okay.
There's just no sharing me whatsoever in that sense.
Hasn't going poly anytime soon.
Yeah. So, which is fine. This is the way she operates. She just she would not be cool about that.
On the other, Katie, I can see you being consistent here, but I'm going to ask. Give me the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
If your man kissed another woman on the cheek, would you feel jealous or would you be okay?
It depends on in the same
circumstance.
way. It's just like Sasha Wetler.
What about a quick squeeze?
That's not an innocent. That's different.
No, that's completely different. I think Ryan's just messing with you.
That's different. If it was an innocent, this is just a famous person.
It's an innocent. It's an innocent boob grab. It's an innocent one.
No, that's gross. It's just the kiss on the cheek was. Oh, you're a famous person.
Well, see, guys don't kiss on the cheek. That was my joke, because guys don't do the peck on the cheek. Girls do, but guys don't.
Plus, Rocky didn't solicit it. It's like
he just went like that.
He's just kind of like, sure, you kiss you the cheek, go away.
Yeah,
that's why Adrian just rolled her eyes. She probably didn't bring it up
exactly.
Again.
Now, I wouldn't want her to kiss him on the lips. That would upset me.
Donald said, it's just an innocent makeout session. Just third base. Just third base. Come on, honey. Just third base. That's all.
Third base.
All right. So, Becky, is this how you're going to train for a clubber so far?
It's not the way you train for clubber. He ain't going to kiss you. He going to kill you.
You guys, there's two things on the chain. The cross and the glove.
I said that before, you dumb dago.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah.
When? How did I miss that? When? This episode?
Yeah, I mentioned the cufflink, and then Ryan mentioned. I did say the two things, but we mostly focused on the cufflink.
Oh, I missed that. I'm so sorry. I thought you were just referring to the cufflink.
I just wanted to say that. I said that before. Quote. I
No, I didn't notice that the cross was also there until just now.
I don't know if I've noticed either, to be honest with you. So good catch, Kyle. And all right, yeah. So he's wearing both the glove and the cross. So now guys yelling, Rock, how about a picture? Yeah, sure. And he's doing
he
the
calls
speed.
him Babe too. They missed that part. He does refer to Rocky as Babe, which I think is weird.
Isn't that an 80s thing? Hey, babe. Hey, babe.
I don't know.
Babe.
I was shitting my pants for most of the 80s.
How about a picture, baby? Yeah, sure. Hey, all right.
So where the guy asked for a picture, just he's already letting you take photos. But I know he posed for it really quickly. But if I was that guy, he's in the middle of a speed bag run. Rock's very generous, because I would have been like, dude, I'm at least don't interrupt my speed bag. Just take a photo of me doing the speed bag. But
yeah, I think Rocky just really likes getting this. He obviously likes the attention, and we all know that Sly takes a real life and incorporates it into his movies, often from his life. I think he has talked about this, but I think he really liked the media attention and all the attention when he became famous after Rocky, and further famous after Rocky 2. And he got soft, as he admitted, or went to his head. So, yeah, I think it's a good representation.
this part always kills me. You got the piano that plays by itself, and then Rocky's going to skip rope. And he's wearing like a little light jacket now. Is another wardrobe change. I think this is. I don't know if it's the same day, but he's definitely showering and changing between workouts. But so here he is skipping rope, wearing the little jacket that he wears. He's dancing.
Look at
next to
those
the piano.
shorts.
Yeah, you like
guys. Yeah.
Looks like a bit of moose knuckle going on there.
No, it's just that they're so short. The style, because Apollos are also. It's
Nike. Oh, Nike brand
Yeah.
short there. Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
I would also
you get-
wear that jacket. It's awesome.
He has an actual live band. So not only did he rent out this hotel, he hired a band, and the band is not okay. Let me go back. The band is not playing the music. It's such a weird thing for both the movie to put this in here and for Rocky to have it.
Okay.
So the piano's playing, but look at these guys on their instruments. They just look dead. They look.
Who's the guy in the background with the yellow thing?
Oh, it's the bubble guy. He's holding.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I thought I found another one.
Oh,
but no.
no.
But you know what though? It's funny. He is the bubble guy, but I wonder if he's
As crew member,
a crew member
Yeah.
doing the bubbles.
Yeah.
But is he actually hired
meant
to
to
be
do
the
bubble.
bubble guy?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, look at the instruments. Like
They're playing.
no, the music doesn't match the instrument.
It doesn't, but they're playing.
Oh no! So they're playing, but the music. There's no violins. I don't know. The
It's
drummer's just doing this.
It is strange.
Yeah. Okay. So now he's skipping rope. Crowd love
But
watching.
you guys, look
We even
at
have an
his legs.
accordion. There's an accordion playing. Do you hear the accordion in the song?
No, it totally is separate. It's just that we're shown there's a band there. But we'll see it in the beach scene too. But the definition of his muscles is insane.
No, he
Like
looks
you could-
great.
Yeah, because he has super low body fat.
Yeah.
You see everything.
Yeah.
So the bubbles are coming down during this skipping rope sequence.
I
This
love
part
it.
always kills me. Why is this part funny to you, Katie? Why is it funny to you?
Well, it just boops it.
Okay, so Mickey goes to pop the bubble. It doesn't pop, but the sound effects department still put in a popping sound.
Oh, that's why you think it's funny.
That's why I find it
cute.
funny.
I just think it's cute that Mickey is.
The bubbles are bothering Mickey. But watch, he goes to pop it, but poor Burgess Meredith can't even pop a bubble. He goes to pop it. It doesn't pop, but the sound effect still comes through.
Watch it. Yeah.
See, he just moved it. He just
Whoa.
no bubbles don't make that sound when you move a bubble.
He made the sound with his mouth.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No,
Watch.
he did
He
not.
goes boop. Watch it. Watch.
Okay,
He makes the sound like boop.
no, that was you just went like this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, in order to do the sound you're talking about, you have to go up.
Yeah.
You'd have to smack your lips. He was just like, get out of the way, bubble. So he just moved. He actually moved the bubble.
And then they added the popping sound. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just love that kind of stuff. I don't know why that kills me. Of course, intercut throughout this, we haven't talked much about it, but is of course Clubber's working out hard. Now, this part I always found interesting. You have Rocky pulling Mickey on a bike.
Mhm.
This is actually a legit strong exercise. So of all the things we've been seeing, this is outdoors. There's no crowd here. I always found like, okay, at least this is a good strength endurance type jog. He's pulling the man behind a bike and he's running fast. I've always thought this was a legit workout.
He has not real workout clothes on. That's a stylish, like,
Sure.
it wouldn't be what you'd actually wear to work out.
But you can
But
almost
he is putting the effort in, though. I
Yeah.
think that this is not the worst scene.
That's
true.
what I
This is probably the most legit training he's doing.
True. And it's along that same river. So it's a familiar scene for us.
And now this is also some more legit training where he is doing some sparring.
Yeah, he's doing some sparring.
With a pretty big guy.
And but the thing is, actual sparring, the guy punches back at you. The Rocky universe makes sparring partners seem like they just get hit. Like Apollo sparring partners in Rocky 2. But sparring is actual fighting.
I know, but I think that the reason for that is we're shown how powerful Apollo is. They're not good enough. He just kills them. And same
Yeah.
here. I think we're supposed to see that Rocky is this sparer can't get a hit in. That's right.
I find that hard to believe. The guy is just standing there with his...
He's defending himself. but-
Yeah.
Okay, let's just watch this play just for a little bit because he says, all right, this will tell us a story. Who's that? Is that Mickey talking? Sweet.
This'll tell us a story. That's side to side rock.
Okay, Jerry. Sorry, Jerry. This is what I'm getting at. Guess what this band is playing right now? They're playing the Rocky theme.
Mhm.
I hope the high school band's getting some royalties for.
That's what I'm getting. So
composing
whose original composition is this? And no offense to Jerry. So his argument is this composition exists as an original within the Rocky universe. But
You
now
argue
this is
that.
the second time in this film that it's being played again for Rocky, or in his presence.
Mhm.
So somehow this original composition within the Rocky universe has been attached to the Rocky character. So whenever he's around and there's a band playing, they play the music of the Rocky theme that we hear as an audience, which is
To
just
defend
absolutely
Jerry, you could make the argument that in the Rocky universe, this is a common song.
for
It
warriors.
does not exist in our universe, and that they happen to play this around Rocky. a
Yeah, they
lot.
just play this song. This sort of thing has never had. There has never been anyone in the world who has a theme attached to them.
Unless Rocky has paid Rocky's people. Rocky hired a composer, had
Oh
the
my
high
gosh.
school band learn the music and play this. He had these guys play it here, and also arranged for them to play it in Rocky 5. Then this was created by Rocky's people, and this was played there. I don't think
Can't
this is
stop.
any more unrealistic than Apollo paying those guys to tease Rocky and Rocky 2.
Oh my gosh, I can't. There's too much. My head's going to explode. Okay. But this is what's meta about this too, because now you have quote unquote the Mickey character telling them change your tune,
Yeah,
which is
I'm annoyed by this shit.
which indicates two things again within the universe is telling the Mickey character says, I'm tired of hearing this theme that you guys keep playing around my fighter. That's what he's saying in the film, but it's not, but it's dialogue for the audience. It's
Mhm.
a joke to the audience. That's the fourth wall, is that we're the audience hearing this Rocky theme again. We have heard this in the third film. It is the rock, it's the Rocky theme, it's the Star Wars theme, it's Indiana Jones theme. And now it's like the Star Wars film had the Luke Skywalker walks into the cantina and they're playing the Star Wars theme. That's what's happening here. We have the Rocky theme being played within their universe. It shouldn't be happening. And then Mickey even says, change your tune because
Shut up back there, can't you? Change your tune.
I love it. We're supposed to eat it up.
okay, so yeah, I'm not talking. So Louis says that yes, wrestlers have songs. Usually they're not original compositions, though. I could be
It's
wrong.
just like a
about
walkout
that.
song.
They're walkout songs. So usually it's an artist or some sort of power up song. But this is original composition music that seems to be attached to Rocky. But you're right. Maybe this is they've assigned this to Rocky.
Now,
Sure.
come on, you guys. Let's. Yeah.
That's it. Puff and punch. That's it, kid. You're a deadly weapon. Time.
You're right. The sparring partner is not really fighting back. Did Mickey tell him just to allow Rocky to hit you, or
I think that in the Rocky universe, the concept of a sparring partner is just someone you could practice hitting. It's just a punching bag that slightly could move around a little bit.
you can punch it, you can kick it, it keeps coming back. You can punch it, you can kick it.
Especially if your strategy is don't trade punches with this guy. So what you should do is practice that guy swinging hard at you, and you
Mhm.
have to move and be able to counter hit.
They should just use the Rocky toy, the smart toy. That's all it's for. It's just put that thing in the ring and just punch it.
Time.
You're okay, come on.
So he gives the guy a hug, says, "You're okay, come on." That's a big boy that he's fighting there too.
It should be because his opponent is.
He's probably an actual heavyweight fighter.
Probably.
Yeah.
Look how
As
big
is
his
Clubber.
look how big his back is.
Clubber's a legit beast. He's
Yeah.
huge.
How tall is Mr. T?
I don't think he's that tall.
I don't mean tall. I just mean
He's a
big
large man,
and
yeah.
broad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mickey tells him to put on this towel, put this on so you don't catch pneumonia.
Ammonia.
Okay.
Give it a little rub down, too.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, kid. I don't like to hear much of what comes out of people's mouths.
So we're going to play this out. I always found this part really oddly sad because we know what's coming for Mickey. And this is what's heartbreaking about this scene. All these jokes that we made, the chaos of the House of Ill Repute and Mickey being irritated. But what's very touching and very sad about this, of course, is this is a real moment for Mickey. Things are quiet now. He can talk to Rocky just one-on-one. And despite him disagreeing wholeheartedly about this whole process with this fighter, he loves Rocky. And that's just showcased here because now he's going to give him a real heart-to-heart. He says, I don't like to hear what comes out of most people's mouths. I love that. He doesn't want to hear what people have to say. But he doesn't want to be hypocritical because he's about to spew stuff, so to speak. like real stuff, not just training stuff. And let's just hear what he has to say.
And I don't like soft talking.
That's for sure.
But I just want to tell you one thing, that I'm proud of you.
Well, thanks a lot.
It's all right, kid. Let's get out of here, shall we?
Hey, man.
So this is nice. I just want to let you know I'm proud of you. It breaks your heart a little bit because this is their last tender moment before the chaos of the fight and the heart problems. And
maybe I'm reading into it too much too, but I think at this point Mickey knows Rocky's going to lose. I think he understands that because Rocky hasn't trained hard, right?
So maybe he just wants to tell him that he's proud of him before the loss.
I think he's saying, I'm proud of you because he knows that Rocky. First of all, he told Rocky his career's been a sham.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he knows, deep down, he knows Rocky's not going to win this fight. And I think this is his way of saying, you know what? I am proud of you. You've had a good career. You've done well. I'm glad we've had this relationship type of thing.
And this is to our tied off here. I think this answers one of our trivia questions coming up too.
Yeah.
What do you think we're going to do when it's all over, huh?
I don't know. Maybe join up with a circus.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, let's get off.
I've always loved that. Rocky.
Okay. All right. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, I always love that too when he does that circus hum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Trivia answers is good going here. Beautiful scene. Good stuff, guys. A lot of, big episode.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's the answers. If you need the question again, I can give you the question, but let's go with the answers. Actually, let me see if I can find it. All right. So who says, is he always this cheerful?
Apollo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Colors, gold and black.
How about yellow and black? Will you
It's
accept that?
yellow.
Yeah, yellow. I put yellow and black. So I'd say, or bumblebee color.
Yeah.
The ultimate meatball was said by Thunderlips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
15 was, who?
Or so 14, right?
Sorry. Who won the match against Thunderlips? Sorry, yes.
It was a tie.
It was a draw. Actually, I
Same
missed.
thing.
Oh, I got that one wrong. I wrote Rocky because he put the sleeper hold on him. I took it technically. That's right.
Yeah, that guy,
It
the
was
mustache guy said, it's a draw.
That's right.
It was a little bit of a trick question.
No, that's good. I was wrong. The book tells me I took it literally that Rocky ended the fight, so my brain went that he won, but I forgot about that. It's a draw. See, boy, I wasn't even worried about that one. Oh man, I got the colors right. That was the one I was worried about. Okay. Yeah, it was a draw. 15. Yeah, who's walking? Oh, I got that one wrong too.
Mickey says it.
Yeah,
Mickey does. I thought.
Who'd you put, Ryan?
Paulie.
Because
Paulie asked who's carrying him.
Yeah,
and Mickey's
he's
no
walking.
one. He's walking.
I thought it was. See, I thought it was Rocky that asked, "Why is he being carried?" Okay, boy. I'm going to lose this season. It's too late. You can't get too wrong. We
could have a bad week next week.
No, anyways. Okay. So true or false about the guy that he fought? He's not from France, and he actually wrote down the country he's from. Where is he from?
Germany.
Yes.
Yeah.
17. Does Paulie dress up as Santa at the start of the movie?
He does.
It's actually false, and he got it wrong.
What?
He's wrong. It's
sorry.
Wait.
18.
Yeah, you missed
that's
one.
Right. That's
you
right.
missed,
sorry,
you missed
guys.
one.
Mickey has a hearing aid. That's true. Sorry.
So I can hear
Okay, sorry. We're saying true for Santa and true for hearing aid?
No.
So
true for hearing aid.
That's right. It's false. It was Mickey that was dressed up as Santa.
And I got that
Mickey?
correct. It was Mickey.
Oh, shit. I got that wrong.
And because we even talked about Paulie not being there.
That's right. Whew. Okay. That's right. And then what does Rocky plan to do after they retire? We just heard it. Join a circus. And lastly, what is Clubber Lang ranked?
Was he ranked number 1?
Number 1.
I got all of them right this time.
Good job, Katie.
Nice. Ryan, you got 8.
I got 8.
It was probably an easier. Obviously, I found them to be easier than other.
I don't know. It's so good for you. I don't know what's wrong with. Yeah, I'm having trouble in a house of ill repute. Thanks to I don't know what's wrong. I forgot about it being a draw. My brain. I thought Rocky won because he did the choke hold, which is a submission hold, because Thunderlips couldn't fight anymore. So my brain, but they did a draw. Because of course it was a charity fight, so there was no winner or loser.
Lehman was like, "Thank God."
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone who joined us live. We had a few people join us live. Send us an email if you'd like us to read your thoughts, or if you rake us over the coals like Jerry, maybe I'll read those YouTube comments. But usually we like to keep it to the emails. Good job to everyone who plays along with the trivia as well. Send us an email. Join our Patreon. What does the Patreon give you? What I'm doing right now, what Patreon gives you is you get immediate release, same day release of our unedited show. So it's almost like it's a week early. You get the show, you get the video, it's unedited, and it's the whole shebang. Other than that, though, this episode, Katie, is over.
I didn't hear no bell.
I just want to say one